Jen Miller. Now you can clap. Jen believes that the value and power of the written word is in sharing truth and story in life, in business, and in business. I missed an and in there. Yeah. Combining her journalism background with a passion for marketing, Jen built needsomeoneToblog.com, a blogging service focused on delivering highly targeted, local search engine optimized blogging and page content, primarily for real estate clients. Jen hosts a weekly podcast, Be Seen Blogging, where she delivers website content tips in under 10 minutes. Jen serves on the WordPress marketing team and founded WomenWhoWP.org.
What?
A nonprofit and meetup dedicated to encouraging women in their WordPress journey. She's presenting Local SEO Without Community is Just Keywords. Jen Miller.
Woo!
Thanks, James. So as he said, local SEO without community is just keywords. Keywords by themselves do not deliver results. They're simply a vehicle or a tool that directs search engines to websites. In some ways, keywords are similar to the bikes found at Venice Beach. When parked without intention, they can't deliver great results. However, when paired with intent and a person, these bikes, like keywords, can take you where you want to go. Keywords must be woven into a message that speaks to the reader on a local level and connects with them in order for you to see the desired result. Keywords and the way they are used set the tone and topic of your website so that search engines can understand what it's about, which is essential in local SEO or search engine optimization. Remember that when I say local SEO, I'm referring to more than a specific zip code. Locality can be defined by a specific place or area or neighborhood, but it can also be defined by an industry segment or a specialized product. Don't be afraid to dream when strategizing. I often have clients who come to me with comments of, I know I'll never rank for whatever their term is, but maybe we could try this. And in some cases, they may be accurate. But with most, I usually suggest trying a holistic approach where we use varied keywords and topic-driven content beyond their website. I suggest that they view their website as a community resource because this changes client results, in large part because it changes their perspective. They start to realize they have a community and that there's a need for their community to hear them speak and share their message. Conversion-oriented copy only works when you understand the needs of that community. So where do you find your community? Do I have any ideas out there in the audience? Where do you find your community?
Google it.
Google it, okay? You can look for people that are maybe in groups that you could join, right? Any other ideas?
Facebook WordCamp.
Facebook group, WordCamp, awesome. Meetups, great places for community. Anyone else? Work, okay.
Forums.
What? Forums, perfect.
Pubs.
Pubs, okay, good. Parks, hospitals. What if you're a dentist? Where are you going to find your community? Where are you going to find your patients? Associations. Referrals.
Your competition.
Chamber of Commerce. Your competition. Exactly. All of these are great answers. And that Chamber of Commerce, I think, back here, and referrals, those are the people in your community. And if you are a dentist and you're just getting to know your community, you have to make good impressions, right, on those first few pages
Nice
so that
pun.
they'll bring other people in. And once they start to spread the word about your service, you're going to get people coming not because they found you on your website, but because they heard that you were a good dentist. Okay? So building that community is essential. Chamber of Commerce, meeting other businesses in the community. Those businesses can help to build yours, and you can help to build theirs. Sometimes your community is your home base. I, for instance, I'm a 4th generation Los Angelian. This is my home. No matter where I live, I always will think of myself as being from Los Angeles. My life memories are tied to this community, and my family has roots here. I chose to have my first child born in Long Beach because it was Los Angeles County, rather than in the swanky hospital in Newport Beach, because I wanted to continue that heritage and the ties to community. I wanted her to know where she came from. When I blog, I reach out to my community. I don't focus on unnamed personas. I think about the individuals who will read the post, and I make sure I share it with them. When we, as a team, blog for our clients, we try to think as our clients, and we consider the end reader of every piece of content we write. We think about how that content is going to be shared within their community. When I was 7 or 8 years old, can't quite remember, my stepdad, Gene, took me on a very special trip into the heart of Los Angeles. I think I even got to miss school that day. We took a bus and rode a train into Union Station, an iconic transportation hub of Los Angeles. We walked for what seemed like miles to my tiny legs, and finally we arrived at a huge crowd. We moved until we could find a place where we could see the stage, and then we sat down. Gene was involved in the community, and he wanted me to be involved in the community too. He wanted me to learn and love it and respect the people it included. All of them. That day, as we waited for the speaker to come to stage, he actually bought me a souvenir. It was about 18 inches long, maybe 6 inches tall and 4 inches deep. It was plastic and light blue. It was in the shape of a peanut, and it looked like a lunchbox. I laughed because it was kind of a silly gift, but I loved it. And that's when the speaker came out. We were there to listen to the President of the United States, Jimmy Carter. He loved peanuts, which explains the lunchbox. I don't really remember anything that was said, but I remember the feelings I had that day. I remember the community. I remember that I was inspired and that I felt loved. I remember that people listened and that I listened. As President Carter spoke, the world stood still and stood silent. His voice was heard and felt. And you may not be President of the United States, but you, like I, have a voice. And you, like I, also have a community, as he did. So if you feel that you don't, I want you to look around this room and meet the people at WordCamp Los Angeles, because we're all here to support you, and this is where you can begin your community if you feel you don't have one. Okay, so this is a photo of Angela's Flight. It's a funicular inline railroad. It was built in 1901. It's still operating today. You can actually, if you want to go into downtown LA, you can ride it up the hill for $1 and ride down for $1. And it's said to be the most used railway in the United States because it's transported more than 100 million passengers. It was devised as a shortcut to deliver groups up a steep hill to Bunker Hill, which was an area back then where a lot of people wanted to get to. It was a very exclusive community. It only covers 298 feet of track, and yet it helped build a community because it removed a barrier. The steep hill was no longer an issue. So looking at this track and the trains, it's amazing to think that it only took 128 days for it to be built. I'm not sure that could be done nowadays. And I'm guessing that A lot of you would probably take longer than that to build a website. So sometimes an unusual approach is what builds your community. For instance, I had a client who on her own shared a post to 14 Facebook community groups. She did this last week. It was not done at my recommendation. She did it completely naturally. She felt like it was what she was supposed to do. If she had asked me first, I would have suggested that maybe it wasn't the best approach because it felt a little spammy. However, it worked. She brought in so much traffic to the post that I thought something was wrong with her analytics. That's why I went looking to see what had caused the issue. And that's what I mean about being unusual. Sometimes you have to do things that you don't necessarily think are the norm to help you to build that community. Have you ever had an event where something was created and it was something that you didn't plan on doing, but it ended up being an asset for your community? Want to share?
I started a volleyball community with about 4 people, bought a net, and right now I got about 1,500 people. In Seattle, we got the UW schools playing in the summertime, and I started a volleyball tournament where literally people from Canada to Oregon come up and play in these volleyball tournaments, and then we turn around and take the money and we donate to Habitat for Humanity or Red Cross. So it was just a simple idea to bring community together of good volleyball players, and it became something that still runs in Seattle when I'm not there.
Right on.
Awesome.
High five, Tony.
That's fantastic, Tony. So 4 people to 1,500
Yep.
and more who know about it.
Yep.
Pretty good SEO. In-person SEO, right? Building that community has brought more people to be aware of the volleyball tournament and your donation efforts.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're giving back. That's fantastic. Anyone else have something they want to share? Yes.
I started a meetup called the LA Free Concerts Meetup.
LA Free Concerts Meetup.
We're the second largest in the world.
Wow.
Second largest in the world?
I started off just like, had an idea, let's go see, go see a free concert, and like 20 people, and now it's 38,000.
Wow.
Wow. Went from 20 people to 38,000, and it was just a random thought that he had. Hey, let's go see a free concert. Make it a meetup.
It was just a name, I think. LA Free Concerts.
It was just the name, he says. LA Free Concerts. Excellent. Someone else have something unusual? Yes.
I used to do a challenge on my blog back in 2010, trying to get as many people as possible to eat no processed food for the entire month of October. And I used Twitter, coming off of a conference for food blogging. I used the conference hashtag, and then we developed our own hashtag. And at the end of the first year, we had 400 people do the challenge. And that was 8 years ago, and we've now had, I think, 35,000 people.
Whoa.
Wow.
Whoa, so you built a community around a challenge to not eat processed food 8 years ago, and it went from how many?
We started with like 400 people.
Started with 400, and now it's over 35,000. That is building community. Exactly.
It starts tomorrow if anybody wants to get in.
And tomorrow's October 1st, so if you're ready to say no to processed food, you know who to talk to.
What's it called?
October Unprocessed.
October Unprocessed if you want to sign up. Thank you. So maybe you just got some more people. We're building community here.
A really important part is being vocal and jumping in and saying something and not lurking in the corner. That's really made all the difference. Is when I've been at conferences and decided I'm going to go meet people now, it's game changing. So you can't be shy.
Yeah, you can't be shy. You've got to be vocal. You've got to jump in where you're at. Okay, so we're in LA. That's where we need to jump in right now. I can't think of Los Angeles without remembering the many summers that I spent at the beach in Santa Monica. My grandmother lives in Pacific Palisades, so my summers were spent here. This pier with the Ferris wheel and roller coaster at the end of it were a cherished part of my childhood. And they make this location more memorable for me. But it's a place that others also cherish. It's not unique to me. I found this quote by someone named Neil G. on Yelp. He wrote, "The priceless ocean view, the crashing of the waves, the restaurants in the amusement park, the old carousel, the surfers, beachgoers, tourists, artists, and spectators. I believe it is and they are what makes this place feel so alive and special. And what he said is 100% true and is what we need to remember. Because we need to create that community on our website, in our lives, where people can say that same type of thing about us. What would people say about your website? What would they remember? Would it remind them of community? Would it remind them of your service or product? Would it remind them of you? I have my photo on my website. Didn't want to do it at first, but went ahead and took the plunge. So people would remember who I was and recognize me at events. I wanted to be more memorable. I wanted my business to be memorable. I wanted my website to be memorable. I have a ton of content on my website at needsomeoneToblog.com. And I have several posts that get a lot of traffic because they are memorable to my readers and they share them often. I use the color green on my website because I thought it would be a color people would remember. So you need to think about it. Think about what makes your website memorable and then make the changes to make that happen. On your website, you have a contact and sign up or registration forms. Are you inviting readers to be active in a targeted Facebook group? Are you directing them to follow you elsewhere, like on videos or podcasts? Are you including internal links in your content so that when they're reading about something, they can build on that subject matter? They can find your related posts. Quality writing, consistency, social promotion, relevancy, and area-sensitive keywords are essential when you're creating community. And everyone has to be somewhere. So where are you leading your traffic? You need to give them more places to connect with you. As your website connects with other portals such as YouTube, iTunes, Vimeo, Yelp, any of those industry-related platforms that you might have, your community grows because it's building those portals, those platforms, those social channels. They all build together to help with your SEO. In some cases, your website might not rank, but your Facebook page might have first place. Or your LinkedIn profile might be in slot 3 for a certain topic. So these are all pieces that fit into that SEO puzzle. Okay, does anyone know what this building is? That's right, it's Pasadena City Hall. So I want you to think of your website as town hall, because that's what it is. Your website is the hub for all your advertising, email, discussion efforts. It's critical to reaching your community with success. It's your town hall, as sure as this Pasadena City Hall is an icon to the community. This is a place where your readers will learn to deeply value your discussion and contribute back to it. But you need to create it. Let's go through the steps to creating a town hall. So I have a client who's implemented these steps, and I'm going to share with you how it's impacted her business. Step 1, define your meeting place. We've defined it. It's going to be your website. That's going to be where we lead everybody. Step 2, start writing. Stir emotion in your writing and ask questions. You'll find that as you ask questions, you'll get more interaction. Step 3, stack the deck. What's that mean? That means you want to have all your aces with you. You want your friends to know about your website. You want the people who can help you to promote your business, your service, your company, yourself. You want them to know about this site and be included as you share your information. Play nice. There's no reason for there to be discord on your site unless you have a political website. Then that's a whole different ballgame. Because you're building community, but could be several communities and they're going to probably interact differently than I would ever expect. So I can't really advise you on that. And then the last step is to listen and then engage. So if somebody has a concern, if somebody has a question, if somebody has points of view for you to take in, you need to listen and really active listening. Pay attention to what they're saying so that you can implement if you feel that's a good idea. And if you feel it's not a good idea, you can engage and interact back with them and share with them what your feelings are. And it will help to build that community. Okay, so let's go back to my client. She implemented this strategy on her website, and she's seen results virtually in her increased rankings in search engines, but she's also seen results in real life as she's had people come up to her on the street. Her website or meeting place, right, because that's what we're calling it, her website is her town hall, her meeting place, it does well, it gets traffic, really beyond what we would expect from the amount of writing and organic local SEO that we're doing on her site. The content is updated regularly, and it is promoted in social media, but beyond that, we're not doing anything crazy as far as getting that content. We're not doing any advertising, we're not really having any cross-promotion with other websites. Nothing that might really give her spikes in her traffic. But when she has a post and when she promotes it on social, it does really well. Because the writing's good, it engages her readers, and she also finds that a lot of her traffic is sent to her website through her email campaigns. So she's stacked the deck, she's made friends, she's grown her list by asking people if they want her newsletter. People say yes, because when you ask them in person, they're more likely to say yes. She also has signups on her website, but those are not as engaging, I think, for her particular audience. And so she follows up by sending that newsletter every single month. It goes out on the first of the month. And when they have questions, then she pays attention to what they have to say. When they call her, because her phone number's in that newsletter, she answers the phone. And she does it consistently. So she knows her community, and she has created this town hall. Okay, lift, inspire, and showcase. This is all you. This is what you need to do with your content, with your website. This is how you make that community and you build it, is by giving content that will make people feel good. You want to bring them to another level, like this old-fashioned elevator. Isn't that a cool picture?
It is a cool picture.
I thought that was fun. So as you lift, you'll love the results that you see. And your community will love you. Emphasis on your community will connect you with other influencers, and then you'll be able to share their messages too. Those in your community will begin to share and reshare your content, and you're going to see measurable results affecting your local SEO because it's being done in your local market. It's your job to create your own legacy, and you can only do that by building those around you. You took a step towards community today by coming to WordCamp Los Angeles. So congratulations, and keep on moving forward, because you can do this. Thank you, Los Angeles. Do you have any questions?